In the past 10 years, they've taken away our V12 dreams, they've stolen our 6-speeds, and they've told us it's all over. Just go out and buy an EV. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not giving up my cheap thrills or adrenaline addiction anytime soon. But for now, I love a good underdog story, which is exactly why here today I'm driving the brand new Lucid Air Grand Touring. And together, maybe, just maybe, we can take down Tesla. What we're sitting in today is the longest range electric vehicle currently on the market today. Not only that, but it's one of the fastest. I hesitated there for a second because it's not quite the fastest, and once we get into it, you guys will kind of find out. But Lucid also has 2 models above this that have more power. Let's go for a drive. Into sprint mode we go. Confirm that I am a skilled driver. Although let's be honest here, it doesn't take that much skill to launch an electric vehicle. Sprint activation, what does it say? It is recommended to only be used by skilled advanced drivers under suitable driving conditions. Yes. I'm getting goosebumps just sitting here. California Bear tells us we're ready to go. Wow, that was just about 100 miles an hour, allegedly. 819 horsepower, 885 pound-feet of torque, which is why I say it's absolutely insane that this is not Lucid's most powerful or fastest vehicle they make. It is, however, the Grand Touring model. We'll go back into Swift mode, which doesn't allow us the full horsepower, but I'm guessing just by my butt dyno, it's around 650 horsepower we still get in Swift mode. 0 to 60 is dealt with in 3 seconds flat. So much torque, it makes me nauseous. I actually was feeling a little bit nauseous yesterday from driving it. This is a serious vehicle. It is not for the faint of heart. I'm telling you right now, you guys, you don't need 819 horsepower. Do you want 819 horsepower? Yeah, absolutely. It just pins you back in the seat like nothing I've ever experienced. So starting price for the Lucid Air here in Canada is $121,000. Right, so this one I'm driving today, $212,000 Canadian. So right off the bat, competition, what can we think of? We can think of the Porsche Taycan, we can think of the e-tron GT. Of course, the Model S Plaid is right around the same area as this. In that list, of course, is also the EQS and a few others. But like I said, this is the longest range electric vehicle, as stated by EPA claimed range, on the market today. And that range, 830 kilometers. We are past the point of complaining about range. That's just not an issue, and that's a point that Lucid wants to get across here. So I don't know about you, but I haven't accidentally found myself siphoning voltage from an EV charger just yet. Aside from that, and a long list of barriers that both manufacturers and governments alike are trying desperately to ignore as we sort this out, what I'm hearing loud and clear is that the floodgates are wide open. What was once the largest obstacle for mass EV adoption has largely been solved here. North America is a vast continent, and whether you like it or not, it's a culture based on cars. Cars represent freedom of personal mobility, and anything that stands in the way of that is the enemy. That's range. So Tesla Model S Plaid has about 200 kilometers less range than this. So it's a big jump from the top tier long range Tesla that money can buy you to this Lucid Air Grand Touring. Now, I have not been able to get quite this range. I've been driving like a little bit of a lunatic, I have to admit, but I started out with 100% battery just 308 kilometers ago, and I'm down to 25% battery. So if we keep going, we're going to hit exactly 400 kilometers, which is half the range that it's rated at. But of course, I have been launching the car a couple of times. Yeah, okay, left foot on the brake, right foot on the gas. Not gas, Marcus. No drama. So please, ignore my nauseating driving habits and you'll find plenty of tests online coming up very close to its estimated range. But where did this range come from? Where did Lucid come from?
I've been giving you the worst of me. Now you wanna stay tonight. Pretty how you work hard for me, but forgetting how to talk. Nah, I don't like no humble beats. Just go and suss it up.
I have a hunch there's something more here, that Lucid wasn't exactly born yesterday. And like many of you guys, I'm sure you're young enough to be, addicted to the algorithms, but old enough to remember MySpace, Nexopia, and MSN Messenger, right? None of which you guys are using right now, a big fat zero. And yeah, despite the fact that Tesla has absolutely, undoubtedly revolutionized the EV space in the past 10 years, sometimes there's a price to pay for being first. And Silicon Valley-based Lucid is hoping that price comes in the form of this new Air. Lucid's CEO, Peter Rawlinson, was actually so frustrated by his time at Tesla and the constraints and what he could do at the company that he left, joined Lucid, and quickly rose to the top to become CEO in 2019. Now, Peter was actually the chief engineer of the Tesla Model S for quite some time, branching off because he thought his vision, combined with the collective at the company, Lucid, was a better vision for the perfect luxury EV than he could pull off over at Tesla. There just wasn't enough creative freedom. Are any bells ringing yet? Any bells? No? Ferrari? Lamborghini? I'm incredibly curious to see what happens and how these two battle out. We know, you guys, that competition breeds innovation, and that's where vehicles like this come from. But we'll wait and see. In the meantime, let's poke around the interior a little bit. As you guys can see right off the bat, completely different from a vehicle like the Model S and a lot of other EVs. The i4 I recently drove, not even close to the same price bracket, but it was interesting to see what BMW is doing with something similar, like what a lot of manufacturers are beginning to do now, which is an extended screen like this. This one's kind of cool. It floats, or appears to be floating, above the dash, which is something I've never seen before. You've got one touchscreen on the side here, which houses basically everything you want to bring up, your music, your phone, connectivity. You've got maps, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, I can confirm, are coming, although they are not available quite yet. If you guys can see down here on the center screen, you can actually drag the map down here. So these screens, effectively, the center screen and the one on top here, are connected. On the left side of this large display, you have all of your lights. You can open the charging port and stuff like that. On the center screen here, you can also open all of your trunks and frunks without getting out of the car, which is nice. Lock and unlock the car. All your mirror controls are here as well. So things are within menus, which a lot of you might find a bit of a learning curve to adapt to. And you do have 20-way adjustable seats here. You've got cushion tilt. You got all these settings in here, but they still have not gotten rid of the manual controls down there. They're keeping a few of the touch points here analog, which is great. I love that. And then, of course, what would a luxury vehicle be without massage seats? The steering wheel. This is one of my favorite things. It's not thick, not to the point of being an BMW M thickness here, but it's just simple and easy to use. They haven't gone ahead and got rid of all of the buttons on the interior. As you guys can see here up in the dash, you still have buttons for your temperature, your fan speed, and your volume right here where you can never forget. You don't have to look down and hit the screen to touch those. There are no haptic feedback controls in this car. And above all, it's, you know, I can touch the top of the steering wheel. I have something to grab onto, which I don't know about you guys. I don't know about you guys. I can't read your minds. That's a must for me. Check this out. This is one of my favorite parts about the Lucid Air. This is one entire singular piece of glass. And then you've got a light here that can be changed, of course, with the mood lighting. I've never seen anything like this. It's absolutely insane. At night it looks great, during the daytime it looks great. What I will say, however, it does affect actually the temperature of the vehicle. And maybe this has to do with the fact that Lucid is, a California-based manufacturer, and that's where their target demographic seems to be most kind of situated. And I'm up here in Canada, freezing my ass off. So the temperature change happens very rapidly. What do I mean by that? If I warm up the vehicle and I get it to an optimum temperature, maybe I'm feeling it's a little too warm, so I lower the temperature, I begin to feel the cool air, because it's only like 2 degrees Celsius outside, it's just above freezing. The glass is very cold, so you do pay a bit of a price in regulating the temperature when you have a vehicle that's entirely made of glass. Another couple cool things I noticed about the Lucid. This door opens 90 degrees. It has one more lock in the mechanism than an average car would have. So the ease of getting in the back seat is ridiculous. I've never experienced anything like this. The back seat legroom is great. There's so much of it. One thing I will note, however, because I want to point out things that you might not notice on video, but are very apparent in person, and that's the fact that because there is such a large batteries under the car, the floor is raised up quite a bit. So when you're sitting back here, it's very tough to have your knees resting on the seat. Lastly, in the center console here, we have a charging point, obviously a wireless charging point. You'll notice there is another spot for your phone down here. And this is the first time I've actually ever seen a manufacturer that really locks in your phone. Regardless of how fast you're going or how quickly you're taking those corners on a B road, your phone will not move. I feel like, however, there is a little bit of a missed opportunity here because only one of these phone holders is actually a wireless charger. The other just holds your phone in place. So I'm not sure the logistics behind that, but another wireless charger would be very beneficial. So just looking at the Lucid from the outside, it would appear that we're living in the future. This car looks crazy. In the time that I've been driving on the road, these 300 kilometers, it gets so many looks. People ask about it. People have no idea what to think about this car. And that is something that all Tesla models, in my opinion, have completely lost. And I think that's going to carry it very far. I think the Taycan looks better. It looks more aggressive, but that's just Stuttgart. That's just Porsche. But here, of course, the uphill battle with any EV, as we chuck it into a corner and just rock it out, is of course the battle of weight. Here, Lucid's done a great job in stuffing that 112 kilowatt hour battery here very low down. And what we get with that, in combination to a very, very quick steering ratio with the steering rack, which I love. It's one of my favorite things about the car because it just, with a car this large, it's tough to make the car feel like it shrinks around you, especially in the corners. But this does a great job of masking the weight. Of course, the instantaneous torque helps with that, but it doesn't feel nearly as big, at least when you're going fast, quickly, and transitioning into corners, as I would have expected. You might be asking, Marcus, how does Lucid get such a long range? How are they rated that high in range? One of the primary factors is the Air here is designed around one pedal driving. That's what they're encouraging you to do. That's what most of the drive modes here are feeding you. If you haven't driven a vehicle with aggressive regen braking like this, an EV, it takes a little bit to get used to, but I've learned I've begun at least to learn the vehicle, what it likes, what it doesn't like. Actually, we'll just go back into Swift here, the middle setting. But what we get when we let off the gas is aggressive regen braking. We just went from 80 kilometers to about 20 kilometers an hour in a couple seconds. So that's how it's able to get such a long range, and it just takes a while for me to get used to. Not ever using those 6-piston brakes up front and 4 pistons in the rear. You'll basically never use them unless you're traveling at ludicrous speeds. No pun intended. And to me, one thing I noticed that really set Lucid apart initially is that they just set the production car record at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, which, as you guys of course know, is like, that's an enthusiast event. Okay, only enthusiasts go there. That, for me at least, is a bucket list event. So for Lucid to take the time to really go out there and show what their cars are capable of in front of those people while not pushing it on them, that to me is pretty cool. And for the record, you Tesla fanboys, I don't have a dog in the fight, by the way, but for the record, Lucid does have plans of setting a Nürburgring lap time in the air. So look out for that. That should ruffle a few feathers. So I mean, in conclusion, it is very easy to be wowed when you step into the Air because there are so many things that are different. And all of the other features and great materials that are here on the interior, while it's not here on the interior like to the level of an S-Class, I almost was kind of prepared before driving this to be like, $212,000, you know, it's going to be a very steep uphill battle to take on Porsche in that realm, especially because they've been around for so long and create some of the world's best driving vehicles. But I'm happy to say here, I don't think $212,000 is too much for this car. I don't think it's overpriced. I think it's just going to be tough, perhaps, for Lucid to get those drivers, those Tesla drivers and Porsche and Audi drivers, into a new vehicle. But that's what it's all about. That's what the competition here in the EV realm is all about. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video with the Lucid Air. Just a crazy car. I would keep an eye on Lucid because I think they're going to do very cool things in the future.